Yay.
Did you make me a co-host yet?
Got it. I let him in.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me
Oh, we're live.
Yes, we are. We are. That's
Aloha, everyone. Aloha.
Yes. Welcome, everybody. We have Renee from Las Vegas. Hello, Ellie. We have Lisa in Hawaii. We have Florida in the house. I believe we have California, Texas. Diane, Darlene, I'm not sure where you're from.
Florida.
Oh,
South Florida.
Florida. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have actually 2 minutes, so we're waiting for people to.
I like your collared shirt today, Ellie. You and I are twinning. Maybe I should change my name, Lisa Goldstein.
That's how I usually wear my collars.
Let me go back to the 80s.
That's too funny.
I still like the collar up look.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, I do too.
I always wear mine up.
On a woman, it looks different. On a man, it just seems out of place nowadays, except for
I like the collar
peacoats and those types of things.
I like the look of Fabio, you know, with the guys with the long.
It's Elio.
Yeah. Elio, I like that. Okay, we'll go with that. Ah, Michelle Collins is on.
We are so super excited.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be fun to have us all together.
Today
oh, somebody's already calling in with a live question. Let's see what it is.
Okay.
Power Hour, how can we help you?
What
it's on my Bluetooth.
Two bald guys doing
it was on my
that?
Bluetooth. Okay, someone really does have a live question.
Give me 1 second, guys.
All right.
Hi, this is Lisa. Okay, maybe it went off my Bluetooth.
All right, we have 1 more minute.
You're muted now, Lisa.
You're muted.
Hi, how are you?
Renee's got it.
What is your question? What is your question today for us? Oh, the Power Hour? Yes, Ellie's on today. You go to, it's a live Zoom. You're going to go to POW, P-O-W, HER, H-E-R, hour, HOUR.me, and that will get you on. You're so welcome. We'll see you there. Bye-bye.
All right. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. It's so excited. Everybody here this afternoon. You know what? I'm super excited about the topic. So we're going to get started. It's top of the hour. It's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's 3 p.m. on the other side of the world. And it's 12 noon in Hawaii. I want to welcome my co-hosts, Renee Rand and Lisa Griggs. Renee's in Vegas. Lisa is in Hawaii, where I wish I was. I'm so jealous. But our exciting idea today, I mean, we are brought to you by New You Life, Balance Your Hormones, Balance Your Life. And you have joined us on Menopause Monday, our Power Hour. So we are talking about intermittent fasting and menopause today. Super excited. Intermittent fasting, it's an eating pattern that cycles between periods of eating and fasting. It has gained popularity as a potential weight loss and health improvement strategy, and particularly among the women going through menopause. So we are focusing on menopause and our intermittent fasting. We have a special, amazing guest with us today. I'm so super excited to welcome Ellie, but hold that thought. We'll get to you in a second. Renee, I'd like to turn it over to you if you would love to introduce and give a little shout out to Ellie and welcome Ellie into our Power Hour this afternoon.
Hey, Ellie, we're so excited that you're here today. Ellie is the Vice President of Product Development at New You Life. He's excelled in the fitness and nutritional industry over the last 27 years plus. Formulator and ingredient compound specialist for all of our products and new things coming ahead as well. And New You Life is revolutionary in helping in hormone health and just all the exciting things. Ellie, I have to tell you, we're so excited every time you get a chance to join us on calls because everyone is so excited to get to hear what you have to say. And
Well-
so I'd like to share this with you today. I already have a whole list of questions from people that have been calling in. So let's go ahead and let you get started. And then I've got questions for you when you're ready as well.
Woohoo!
Let's go.
All
Do it.
right.
And then, well, hey, guys, first of all, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the way you represent New You Life, because you guys bring a new aspect of topic to women out there. And thank you for having the courage to bring this hormone topic to light on a public stage. And that takes a lot in general, but the way you guys do it, you make it informative, you make it casual, so there's no apprehension involved, and you make it informative. So thank you guys for doing that. It's a big help to the community.
Well, we sure appreciate you. And we're going to go ahead and get started with some questions, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the first question I have for you is from someone who loves to hydrate immediately after waking up. She says, I usually take my MLT first thing, but can I add creatine to it? Perfect amino pills or powder, and maybe even her apple cider vinegar to this routine. Will that, or should she wait and keep everything separate?
Well, it depends on her goals, right?
Okay.
That's what I'm always going to allude to, because what you're doing has to coincide with your goals. If it doesn't, like creatine's great for building muscle, is that your goal? Is it just losing body fat? Is it cleansing with the apple cider vinegar? Is it recovery with the perfect aminos? So let me know what your goal is, and then I'll be able to put you in a direction that will help you out with either muscle growth, recovery, or anything that you're trying to get out of your program.
That's awesome. So if you have the question to that question, drop it in our chat. And in the meantime, I've got so many questions on this list, Ellie, today. It's amazing. I'd love to hear your input on long-term fasting. What are the potential benefits and concerns, especially for women that are over 40?
Okay. So I love this question, and that's a fantastic question, because people don't really understand the benefits of fasting. So usually within the first 8 to 10 hours, that's when you start reaching ketosis. Your body has processed all its glucose, and it starts to use fat, and hopefully it's digging into that visceral fat and converting it to energy. That's your energy source. 18 hours into it, you're full on keto. I mean, you are really in the groove. And at 18 hours, your hunger starts to go away, right? 18 to 24 hours. The really good stuff starts to happen at the
Want a
30.
quesadilla with beans?
I'm not sure who that is.
That's Jackie's phone.
I muted it. Go ahead.
So at 36 to 48 hours, there's something called autophagy that happens, and your cells start purging all the deadly toxins and everything out of your system. That's why it's so important to drink water while you reach these stage, so you can purge them completely out of your system. Now, autophagy is where your body's getting rid of cells that are non-functionable. And so now you're having a revitalization cellular wise of what's going in your body, and your body becomes much more efficient. It's just really difficult to get into that 36 to 48 hours because of hunger. And that's where water really comes in when you're fasting. So water is satiety when you're fasting. The more water you can drink, the better, because it will satiate you throughout the day and hopefully get you to where you want to go. But what you really want is that first 12 to 18 hours and getting into ketosis and getting your body to work off of fat.
And is the water that we're talking about, are we talking about, can they, because I know a lot of people that add lemon juice, fresh lemon to their water, and they add something to their water. Is that okay? Or it doesn't need to be plain water?
So they say between 10 and 50 calories is when you come out of, fasting or keto. Now, I've heard Thomas DeLauer speak about this, and it really depends on the type of calorie it is as well. Lemon, remember, lemon has, even though it's a bitter citrus fruit, it still has sugar, right? Even those little amounts. And when you're getting into a full ketotic stage, you want to be very careful how you approach that if you want to stay in that phase.
Gotcha. That's a great answer, because I know there's lots of people that pour tons of lemon into their water. So that's good to know. Can we discuss caffeine intake in the morning? In general, when and how much should we space it out with our MLT if needed? I don't usually feel jittery, so I've been waiting about 15 to 30 minutes after my MLT. Is that okay?
So MLT doesn't have so it doesn't have like a regular caffeine. It has something in it called theobromine, which comes from cacao extract. Theobromine is a CNS, a central nervous stimulant, and caffeine works off of the same basis. In fact, the molecule kind of resembles caffeine, but it's not absolutely identical to caffeine. So you can add caffeine to your theobromine. Again, it really depends on your goal. And the problem is a lot of people want to take things and not be goal oriented. And the whole thing is that, if you have a vision board, right, you're envisioning where you want to get to.
Right.
That's kind of what has to happen here. And you have to follow the proper steps to be able to execute that properly.
Oh, awesome. That's great. You won't believe this list, Ellie. It's non-ending. We had asked for questions ahead of time and we got them this week for sure. All right. What are your thoughts for someone who drinks a protein drink in the morning?
What's that?
Coffee again. All about spacing and what to mix the MLT with if you're going to use the MLTs.
Okay, can you repeat that question one more time, please, Renee?
What are your thoughts for somebody who drinks a protein drink in the morning? If no coffee, then it's all about spacing and what to mix with their MLT. So this is somebody that's already using our MLT, but they're asking about if it's okay to drink it after their protein drink.
It's perfectly fine to drink it after. They can actually combine it with their protein drink if they wanted to.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Remember proteins, if they're doing a whey protein, what are they getting? 21 essential and non-essential amino acids. If they're drinking a plant protein, that's one shy. There's 20 in there. So, it's depends on their goal. I mean, is their goal recovery first thing in the morning? Is it just supporting muscle structure first thing in the morning? What is it that they're trying to accomplish here? Have a process, and again, I'm going to go back to the vision board. Your goals have to be realistic, right? They have to be executed in a way that's methodical and allows your body to transition to get to those goals. It doesn't happen automatically. We're getting older. Things happen at a slower pace. Recovery is paramount in any exercise program. It is the number one thing is recovery. Because without recovery, you cannot recuperate and go back and do it again. Your performance suffers when your recovery is not good. So always, even when I was dealing with professional boxers, Andre Ward, Andre Durrell, Mario Barrios, there's such a large portion of their routines. And if you look at football players, soccer players, and everything, their goal is recovery and treatment.
Right.
Right. No rest, no recovery, no recovery, no performance.
Okay, great. That's, I'm hoping that we're getting some other questions put in the chat, but Jean or Veronica? Yeah, Veronica?
I just want to mention that we are talking about our tri-MLT and MLT today. I did have a question come in to me as well, and we do have Ellie Goldstein here who is talking about, one of our specific products, two of our specific products for, women intermittent fasting and what these amazing products do for us. So I do have a question, short one. Ellie, can you talk about how choline helps with ADHD?
Okay. Choline is an acetylcholine precursor, and acetylcholine really helps focus and concentration. So it slows the processing center down so you can actually absorb. That's one of the things. And there's so many different types of choline too. There's CDP choline, there's choline bitartrate, there's a plethora of cholines. Make sure you get the one that you need for yourself. My suggestion is always CDP choline. It tends to be the most bioavailable, but it is kind of pricey.
Is that what's in our product?
No, we use just a choline basis to it because of international compliances don't allow us to use some of the exotic materials.
Ah, gotcha. All right. Any more
plus-
on that question, Veronica?
It's
No, go
expensive.
ahead there. Oops, sorry about
Yeah,
that.
there is always a cost. So when you formulate, I can put all the best ingredients of the world into a formulation. There's two factors that really come into play in formulation. Is it going to cost an arm and a leg? Because we have certain parameters within spending that we can afford, right? Not everybody is driving a Rolls Royce, right? So, and I'm a Toyota guy myself. So, the second thing is regions have different compliance issues. So, what may be allowed here in the United States may not be allowed in Japan or Korea or China or Malaysia, Singapore, New Zealand, the UK. So there's a lot to think about, and I can't make 10 different formulas.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, because there's minimum order quantities, MOQs, that manufacturers have, and they're not going to build me 100 of a product that may sell in a region 50 a month. So we have to make business decisions at the same time. So there's a lot that constitute what goes into a product, what we can do. But I will tell you this, we do all our formalities and research well in advance for this. We're usually about, I don't know, anywhere from 12 to 24 months out on product development. That's how far we're looking ahead. And sometimes things come real quickly, like tri-MLT, was something that Alexi really wanted, so we made it happen fairly quickly. But I like to do the homework on everything. Choline is a great, B vitamin that can really help us with that focus factor, especially when working out, because focus is really important. If I'm sitting under the bench and I got a couple 100 pounds on that, I don't want to be having some lighthearted conversation with somebody while I'm trying to push this weight around. I want to make sure my safety factors are in place, and I want to focus on what I'm doing and really focus on that muscle group as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So true. Okay, here's my next question that came in. I've been using Somaderm, both MLTs, for maximum body transformation using our New Life products. Any advice on optimizing this combination for best results? Like when, to simplify it, is there a best way to use those three products and come out with the very best results?
You're going to hear me be redundant a lot here, okay? Because it's your goals, right? If you're trying to lose body fat and you're on the couch eating bonbons and not doing your exercise program, it makes it very difficult for a product to do its work, right? So know your macros. That's your proteins, fats, and carbohydrates are macros. The vitamins within them, the minerals and all the other nutrients are the micros, right? Don't worry about the micros. Worry about the macros. Have the big picture. If you're trying to lose weight, a rule of thumb for me is 40, 30, 30. 40% protein, 30% complex carbohydrates, and 30% fat. That way, if you do intermittent fasting, so if you fast from, let's say, 8 at night till 8 in the morning, and that's when you really start getting into that ketotic range, you're not breaking that.
Right.
Know what you want out of this. That's the whole thing. But ultimately, it's calories in versus calories out, no matter which way you slice it, because that is a biological thing. We can't change that. That's science. We have to expend more calories than we intake. That's weight loss. And no matter what diet you go on, whether it's keto, whether it's vegan, whether it's paleo, whether it's, the 500 other diets are out there, it's calorie reduction that gets you to your goal. People don't realize that keto is generally, for most people, a calorie reduction diet. And they
Right.
go, oh, I'm on keto. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, you're reducing your calorie intake.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
if you increase your expenditure, you're going to get into a calorie deficit more easy, and the body fat will come off.
Well, it made a big difference for me when I decided that I had to figure out a way to absolutely control my sugar. Type 2 diabetes, and I used to be on 18 medicines and 4 insulins, and today I'm on nothing but CBD and our wonderful Somaderm products. But for diet, I actually wore a blood meter to be able to tell every time I ate. I would test before, and I would test 2 hours afterwards to see how that specific food affected me. And that made a world of difference for me. There's so many people that can eat things that I can't eat, but I discovered what those things were by experimenting and making sure that I really found out what was healthy for my body. And it made a big.
So the biggest thing, Renee, and sorry to cut you off if I did, is when you're pre type 1, type 2 diabetes, the best thing you can really become acquainted with is the glycemic conversion, right? You have to know how your body's converting food into sugar. Most food is converted into glucose. It's the rate of conversion that really affects you. And then type 2 diabetes is a little bit different. Type 1, your body doesn't make insulin, right? That's it. So you have to rely on an external factor, metformin, glucophage, insulin, whether it's slow or fast acting. It's usually both. Um, so if you can, diabetes is a manageable disease.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so if you understand what the glycemic index is and see the conversion, and there's plenty of tools out there that show you this online. You can just Google glycemic index. It's actually a real effective way at losing body fat too, controlling glycemic index, because you don't have big spikes of insulin. The biggest problem with people nowadays is that we eat and then go to sleep, right? And it is very hard. Imagine if you flop that, where you are eating your heavy meals in the morning and your light meals at night. What you do is give your body a chance to burn off the calories throughout the day. So you're not storing at night. But we like to eat before we go to bed, and then we like to have dessert before we go to bed. And all these things happen before we go to bed, and our metabolism is lowest at night, highest in the morning. So how are you expecting your body to process all that stuff. And this is when they start talking about food hangovers, things like that, to where you feel lethargic and kind of slow in the morning. It's just because people aren't paying attention to their food intakes, timing, and macros.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. I found that it's been a real discovery process for me. Okay,
Yes.
another question. What are your thoughts on doubling up on products throughout the day? I've heard that it can escalate progress, but it can get a little pricey, such as try MLTs and MLTs in the morning and then again in the afternoon. So is there any truth to that, or what are your suggestions?
Oh, so with MLT is a thermogenic, right? So it heats your body temp up so you can convert fat to energy. Where tri-MLT works on your leptin, ghrelin, and PYY. So you're working on hunger, satiety, and then the conversion of visceral fat into energy fat. So my thing is I like to do regular MLT in the morning, gives me that little push, right? Without a heavy caffeine dosage, so I'm not crashing by 11. And then usually at about 3, where my sugar level starts to drop, I take tri-MLT to help manage my cravings throughout the day.
Love that. Love that. That's a great suggestion. That's kind of what I've been following because I heard you say that once before. And that works really well for me too. So I'm glad to hear that. Okay, let's see. Here's a big long list here, 2 pages.
We
I
have-
have
I was
We
going to
have-
say there's someone actually on that has a question as well. So
Okay.
maybe at some point.
Why don't we do that?
Why don't you ask?
Oh, ask away.
Hi, my name is Dr. Rajay. I'm new to the company, so I'm just absorbing the information now. So I work with a lot of ADHD clientele. If they're not necessarily specifically looking for weight loss, or there is no obvious sugar imbalance involved, which a lot of the times the baseline small imbalance might still be there. What would be your suggestion? Would it still be the MLT in the morning and then try MLT with meals? Can they have that with meals? Or
They could. And so if you're trying to manage sugar level, tri-MLT is a little more effective at helping manage glucose because it has chromium in it, which really works on that insulin resistance that people get as we get older. That's a big thing that a lot of people don't understand. Though your body might produce insulin and carry glucose to the cell, it doesn't mean that that cell's going to accept that. That's called insulin resistance. There is a certain nutrient in tri-MLT that is shown to help with insulin resistance, and that's chromium picolinate. So that's where you get that acceptance of glucose, you get the burning of glucose, and then you don't store as much because your body's actually using it as an energy source now.
okay, so just try MLT twice a day instead of using MLT?
If it's a sugar problem or sugar
Just with ADHD, just
Yeah.
with ADHD.
Well, even with ADHD,
Focus.
when you balance sugar levels, you kind of
It's
take
gonna improve, absolutely.
exactly.
So
yeah,
just the same way, so am I understanding that tri-MLT is the product to go to for that purpose?
I would say
You
that
can
would be
dose it
more,
twice a day?
yeah, I would say that would be more advantageous for somebody that has ADHD or ADHD
Okay,
because it will help control those sugar spikes.
okay, sounds great. And they can be done for younger kids too,
How younger?
like 13, 14?
So tri-MLT is based off of working with leptin and ghrelin hormones, right? Somebody 13 to 15, I don't want to start, changing their hormone patterns. They have to change their intake patterns. I know children, it's very difficult. I have 3 boys. I understood about trying to get them proper nutrition. And it's very difficult to help them understand. I love rice. I love pasta. I love bread, right? All the things that I shouldn't be involved with when you're trying to reach a weight management or a sugar stabilization goal.
Right.
Right. So keep them on the proteins and a little bit more on the vegetable side of things and keep that portion of carbohydrates down to a minimum if you can.
Absolutely. I mean, I work with diet and lifestyle all the time. It's just in the morning to get them going when they're
Yes.
not yet quite awake to eat breakfast.
Yeah,
Protein
and
shake is
cereal.
something that I do
Yeah.
recommend, but it's still just so that they can go and kind of try to focus on schoolwork. And then lunch is usually easier.
Yeah, I do protein with peanut butter, natural peanut butter or almond butter. That way there's more satiety throughout the day with the fat in there.
Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
You're
So you
welcome.
would say 18 or more
I would
for
say
the
18 or
product?
more. Anything hormone related, there has to be a maturation of hormones before you start manipulating anything, right? Even though it's endogenously happening,
Right.
still moving hormones around. You should let that happen naturally.
You recommend that even for girls who have already hit puberty and
Yeah, because there's still a maturation that has to
maturation is
go
still
with,
happening.
adrenal, thyroid, cortisol, all those things. So yes,
Makes sense. Thank you.
you're welcome.
No, I love it. And I'm right there with you. I don't do pasta, bread, rice, or any of that anymore, or potatoes. So yes, I understand.
And Ellie, we have another question in the chat.
Perfect.
Comes from Vanessa. I have insulin resistance and metabolic disorder. Can I take TriMLT twice a day?
Yes, absolutely.
Got it.
Yeah. See, the thing is TriMLT, the way Alexi designed TriMLT, he wanted to make it effective yet safe. So you can take it multiple times. I've had people take it 3-4 times a day. I remember when Paul Capozio was first starting to use it. He was using it anywhere from 3 to 5 times a day. And that's how he lost 40 pounds because his problem was the simple carbohydrates. He wants to eat Italian guy. He wants to eat pasta, wants to eat bread. So if we can curtail that craving and balance his leptin and ghrelin, then it takes care of that and intake becomes less, calories become less, weight loss becomes more.
Awesome. Love it. Now, here's the next question. I've heard that your body can only absorb so much Somaderm in one dosing, and spacing them out is more efficient.
I have packages out front and back.
All right.
Is that the same for the MLTs? For spacing them out?
I mean, it's good to space it out, yeah, because you don't want a big shot and then a letdown, right? You want to have it balanced throughout the day. So if you can take one morning, one afternoon, one evening, if that's the way you're getting your benefit, super safe.
All right, great. Right, but not real close together. Like I wouldn't take 3 at one time. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. Your body
I don't
wouldn't
see the benefit.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing is I don't see the benefit.
All right. All right. Here's another one. I also have been told that not having any days off would help my mental health as well, at least for my Somaderm. I feel very depressed at times, sluggish and anxious, but once I started using the no days off, I noticed that my mental health was much better. But am I becoming too reliant on my Somaderm, and will this cause a plateau?
So remember, Somaderm stimulates endogenous hormone production. So you're helping your body come along. Some people need a little bit more help than other people. Depends on your age, your dietary habits, your rest. That's something we haven't really addressed here is rest. Rest is paramount because when you're resting and getting into REM sleep, that's where hormone production is really maximized. That's why our bodies recover at nighttime, is because of these pulsating glands that are releasing these beautiful things throughout our bloodstream, and hopefully our receptors are taking it in and utilizing it in the proper manner. So it's understanding, again, I'm going to go back to this. Guess what I'm going back to? Know your goal, right? Know your goal, right? Put a plan together, on how to get to your goal. If you don't have a pathway, you're going to take the long way.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and then you'll develop a pathway. Know what works for you. Be intuitive about yourself. You know yourself better than anybody else. And I think people forget that realization when they go to things. And remember, I don't want to hear this. When I was 20, right, right, I could eat anything I wanted. Of course, you were 20, right? And your metabolism and growth hormone production was through the roof. And here we are, like for me, I'm nearly 60. It's just things are different. They're much different. I did legs on Friday. Now, I haven't done a heavy leg day in probably a couple months. So I wanted to tax myself. I could barely walk for about 4 days.
Oh, no.
Right. And of course, I did that right before I did my move.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Crazy.
So,
Yeah.
so understand where you're at, know your parameters and work within those. I think that's where people get, they want other people to show them, right? But it's not about showing, it's about executing.
So true. And when we don't execute, then we don't get the results. So
That's it.
have to see, I'm 70, so I'll be 71 this year. And I have a lot of other friends that are 70 that look like little old people. And I don't understand that because that's not the way I handle my health and wellness and mental well-being. So, so everybody has a different point of reference and a different frame of where they're at and what they're willing to do. And, I wish I had started. I didn't start any of the health and wellness until I was 50 years old. So, I've covered a lot of wonderful legwork in the last 20 years to improve things in my life, but I didn't know any better before that. I didn't worry about what I ate or what, how much sugar I absorbed or how little exercise I got. And as a result, I had to change everything in my life to really make a difference. And I just appreciate your knowledge and your help so much because I know there's a lot of people on this call that really have a lot of other questions. So are there any other tips that you could throw out there for us? Those are all the questions that I already had in advance. But are there any other tips that you find around either intermittent fasting or MLT or a tri-MLT that would be a help for somebody moving forward?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of fasted low impact cardio. Keeping your heart rate below 120, doing 20 to 30 minutes of walking at a incline of 3 to 5 on a treadmill, or going outside and having different terrains. It really helps your body get into that ketotic range because you burn off excess glucose that may be secreted at nighttime. Right. So I'm a big fan of that. Secondly, and a lot of people are afraid of this, as we get older, we have atrophy happen to our muscles. Muscle is a key stimulant for metabolism. It's well known scientifically, right? Do some resistance training, whether it's push-ups, sit-ups, empty hand chair squats. You see all these new things on social media now about chair routines. Right? For people 50 and over. All they're trying to do is stimulate their muscle. Right? But yet you want to be safe with your connective tissue. Because if you get hurt, that inhibits you from going out and stimulating muscle. Right? So if you're first starting out, start slow, be methodical, right? Work your way into your program and have your program coincide with your goals, right? Meaning diet, exercise, supplementation, and rest, right? And don't forget the key thing, water. Well, you need to hydrate. You want to throw a couple minerals in there, a mineral pack. You want to squeeze a little lemon in there. I'm all fine with that stuff. You want to throw some apple cider vinegar, some chili peppers, whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. But be consistent about it. It's kind of like becoming a diamond here at New York, right? To become that level, it takes a level of consistency that is paramount, right? And I don't work part-time and get paid full-time. Fitness, health, and everything is the same thing. And I think people don't understand. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? You want your lifestyle to fit yourself. Look, if you want to just if you're happy sitting on the couch eating bonbons and ice cream and ordering off of Uber Eats, 5 days a week, please be my guest. Just don't call me with the problem, because you already know the problem.
Right.
Right? As human beings, we're actually very intelligent, and our bodies are more intuitive than we think they are. So we have to understand, if there's a goal involved, map out your goal. Understand what your macros are. Don't play around. I mean, put an effort into it so you can get a result out of it. And then bring consistency and diligence to your training schedule. Carve out time. Your girlfriend will be there. Your husband will be there. Your kids will always be there. So it's up to you to get to that place. There's nobody. Look, I can do 100 push-ups, Renee. It's not going to make you gain any muscle.
So true, so true.
Right?
Someone just now texted, what are macros?
Macros are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. And remember the calorie scale here, right? Proteins have 4 calories per gram. Carbohydrates have 4 calories per gram. Fat has 9 calories per gram. That's why it's better for satiety. It's heavier. So just understand where you're at and where you're trying to get to. Develop a roadmap. And if you need any help, I'm always here to help.
Oh, I love it, Ellie. You're so awesome and amazing. We appreciate you so very much. Veronica, do you see any other questions in the chat for us today?
No, I do. I have something. So Danielle was saying, is it okay for women in our age group? I heard we need to have 15 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up. Men are different. So she was a little bit confused. Can we clarify that?
I mean, so I don't know her goal. It's so difficult. So for me, I'm trying to develop lean muscle mass and cut the body fat. The problem, as the doctor will tell you, if you take in too much protein, it's very taxing on your kidneys. Nitrogen tends to build up in your kidneys. So it's good to really space that out. And plus, with protein shakes and everything, the assimilation of that protein hits you really quick. It's not like food that has to go through a breakdown period in your in your stomach and then get transported into your upper intestines, where 80 to 90% of those nutrients will be delivered into the bloodstream. It's understanding where you are and where you want to get to. By taking 15 grams of protein in the morning on an empty stomach, what's your goal? Right? Because for me, I do and most people will say, no, you need to take more. I take 3/4 of a gram of protein per body pound, right? So I'm at I weigh 210. I'm at the 190 mark on protein, right? So in the morning, I do 4 eggs, whole eggs, and then I'll drink half a protein shake. And then when I get to work, I'll have 30 grams of protein. And then later in the afternoon, I'll hit 30 grams of protein again. And then by the evening, I'll probably do a pre-workout protein shake and then a post-workout protein shake, as well as a light dinner. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I mean, it is a lot. I mean, if I didn't have the protein shakes in advance prepared, it would be a lot to really make throughout the day. And my last meal of the day, I always try to make chicken or fish.
Right.
It's lighter on your digestive tract. So,
Assimilate the body a lot easier.
well, digestion takes energy, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, I have less energy than I did at the beginning of the day. And people don't understand that. That affects all things compounded, right? Metabolism's highest in the morning, lowest in the evening. I want to intake most of my calories in the morning, early afternoon, and then calorie down throughout the evening.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay, we have another question in here. This comes from one of our ladies. Been experiencing a lot of gas lately. Any suggestions other than a longer fasting time?
Wow, I can go digestive enzymes, a little more protease in there to help break down. Is it because of protein? Is it because of legumes, or is it because I don't know what? Are you intaking dairy products? Are you not intaking dairy products? There's there's so many factors. Where do you want me to go with this? So it's understanding what's causing the gas.
Right.
Right. And like for me, dairy lights me up. Don't be around. I can fuel a country. You know,
Let's
so,
hear that.
so if you see me eating dairy, run.
Run. I love it. I love it. Well,
So,
this always enlightens us. With the more information we have, the more, ways we can choose to move forward. And like you said, Ellie, it depends on our goals. So let's get clear on our goals, and then we're going to be more likely to head in the right direction with all these great ideas. So we appreciate you so very much. Veronica, did you have any other questions in the chat?
You know what? And we're here today with menopause, intermittent fasting. Ellie, any last thoughts with menopause, intermittent fasting, even with menopause and tri-MLT and MLT?
well, if you're gonna hang in there with intermittent fasting till you get to that 36-hour period when autophagy starts happening, that really benefits hormonal swings as well. Keeping your sugar levels steady benefits with hormonal swings. Intaking too many calories at once puts a lot of stress on your body. Your fight or flight glands, your adrenals will feel that, right? And plus, you're going to have other stressors throughout the day, whether physical, mental, or metaphysical. Understand that cortisol tears down protein, breaks down those amino acids, and doesn't allow your muscles to rebuild properly. So that's why I say have a plan.
Yeah.
The plan alleviates so much of that, right? And then take one day out of the week and grab a really good burger. And I'm not talking McDonald's. Go get a real burger. Have that cheat meal so you really adhere to those cravings that you'll get. And just enjoy it. I mean, really enjoy it. Embrace the experience. That's the whole thing that I think a lot of people do. And they're like, "Oh man, this hurts." And at the beginning, it's gonna hurt.
Right.
I mean, the food change alone hurts,
Mhm.
and it's sacrifice. But if again you have that goal in mind, you need to make those sacrifices to be able to get to that goal.
Right.
Great
This is
info today.
awesome. Yes.
Awesome.
Amazing information. Thank you so much, Ellie. We really, really love having you here. And I want to thank everybody who has attended to the Zoom today. You know what? Next week, and we're in menopause, we are trying to focus on our specific products. So next week, Monday, April 14th, we're going to do menopause and feel like yourself again. We're going to be featuring Nora V and Fortress. Ellie, you know, we always love having you here and talking about these amazing products. It would be at the same place, same time next week. And again, Ellie, any last thoughts before we let you go?
Okay. This is my philosophy. Consistency brings about change. Inconsistency brings about settling. And you never want to settle when it comes to you. And whether it's your health, whether it's your career, whatever it is, right? Bring it to the table. Knock it out of the park. You're doing this for you and nobody else. Not my husband wants me to lose 10 pounds. If I hear that, I am going to go crazy. Okay. This is always for you, whether it's, physical, whether it's financial, whether it's spiritual. The best you can bring to the table, the better you will be with your significant other, with your children, with everything that goes in your life. It all ebbs and flows. So when you bring that about, you make the best version of yourself, and that's what you want.
Awesome. Love it. Absolutely. And for those of you that are still on the call today, we'd like to invite you to join us this evening for Gel and Tell at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and come hear some of the testimonials and some of the stories of our results. It's very powerful when you find somebody that is probably working on the same challenges you are, and you have an opportunity to be exposed to their story and find out it can happen for you too. So that is Gel, GELN, the initial N, Tell, TELL.com. And that's in just about an hour and 10 minutes. So we'll see you on there. And Veronica, you want to close us out tonight?
You know what? I want to thank everybody again for being here. Lisa, I know you're probably driving, but I also want to tell you about, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have New You Life Freedom. It's NULFreedom.com. Learn about the business and even more about the product. Join us then as well and bring any of your potential individuals who would love to get into this and have some really amazing products. Again, thank you, everybody. I hope you all have a great evening. I appreciate you. Love you, love you, love you all. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ellie and everybody.
Gene, good to see you, buddy.